Hey everybody, today we are doing a 15 card pyramid spread, and I saw this in my notes as the witch's spread, so I don't know where I got the spread from. I've never actually used it, but it seemed intriguing and seasonally appropriate that we use something called the witch's spread to demo a bit more of how we use the Halloween tarot. So like I said, I've never actually used the spread. I think I have a bunch of my repertoire that we all have a bunch of spreads that we use. So when we use ones that we wouldn't ordinarily, you're trying to figure out what it's good for. So this one, so far, having used it just this one time, as we're going to talk about in a minute, it's really good, I think, for a no question querent. So if you were at a party or you were at an event and someone said, oh, I don't know, they don't have a question, maybe this would be a good one for that, because then that will let whatever it is that they are supposed to know come through. So this particular spread in front of you, so these cards I drew, I just shuffled. I didn't really think about anything just other than, let's do a spread of some kind to talk about this, the spread, how it operates. And I think it actually turned out really well. So let's talk about that a bit. So this spread has 5 levels. So you have the top 5 cards. Second level has 4 cards. Third level has 3. 2. Oh wait, I went in the wrong direction, I think. So first level has 5 cards. It's level 1. That is the confusing part. So hang with me for a sec. Level 2 has 4 cards. Level 3 has 3 cards. Okay, that one's pretty easy. Level 4 has 2 cards, and level 5 has 1 card. You know what I mean, but a good way to kind of remember the idea of the spread is to visualize a distillation process. So we start with many cards, and we kind of come to the bottom. We concentrate the spread. So I'm not really sure why it's called the witch's spread. Maybe somebody out there knows. I couldn't find a lot written about it. That wasn't something that I couldn't find any kind of like historic source for it. So I saw a lot of like Pinterest links and, Tumblr. I don't even know if that's still a thing, but I saw links going to that. I'm sure it's just something that people will label a spread to kind of create mystique or intrigue. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. So I couldn't really figure out or find out too much in my 3 minutes of internet research. I know, so scholarly and disciplined, but that's not really what, you're not here for a history lesson. You're here to see how this works. So on the first level, we're talking about a person's current state. So we have 2 of bats. So going back a little bit further before we get into this, Halloween Tarot does the suits a little bit differently. So instead of swords, it's bats. Instead of pumpkins, or instead of pentacles, it's pumpkins. Wands are imps. So you see imps here, that's a wand. And then ghosts are cups. So now that we all know that, now that we have that base understanding. We have the Two of Bats, so basically Two of Swords, and you can tell that this is modeled really well after the Smith Rider-Waite, however you say it. And then we have Five of Bats, so Five of Swords, again, very similar. You can look at this card and get that sense, oh yeah, the bats are the swords. The Three of Imps, so Three of Wands, Hanged Man, and Three of Bats or Swords reversed. So we will put all of these, if this is a current state, we'll use all of these cards to tell us what's going on right now. So if I were to combine all of these, we have major suspension. We only have swords on this level. If we look through the rest of the spread, we've got wands, wands, pentacles, pentacles, cups, wands, pentacles, cups. Swords are only on this level. So the current state is definitely one of some mental anguish and possibly even physical. Because when you have a bunch of swords together, we can sometimes, those relate to health issues. And again, we're not giving a health reading, but what we can ask is whether any sort of health issues have had an influence or priority in the mind of the person asking you, the querent. So all of these 5 cards are showing us some persistent problems that keep coming up. There is a consistently unsupportive environment that the querent is living in. The past is very relevant. So the Five of Bats, so Five of Swords, usually showing us an argument that already happened. The Three of Bats, or Three of Swords rather, reversed, we are releasing that past pain, or they are not addressing that repressed pain. We've also got the Hanged Man, so we're deciding not to recognize the need for enlightenment currently. It's almost like we're trying not to address the situation as it is. We know it's not good, but we've got all these blindfolds and we've got that sense of denial a little bit, I think. Like there's a sickness in a relationship that's happening. So level 2 is supposed to tell us what the querent will experience related to level 1. So we've gone through that, how it is, and if we were in front of a person, they could help give us that exposition or confirm that this is indeed the case. If these cards at the top make sense to them or are hitting nerves in the right places, that's how you know that your cards are good, and keep going, because there's some real magic to be had as we go further down levels. So level 2, what they'll experience related to that first level, we do have a lot of fluctuating energy. We've got ups and downs, emotional volatility, maybe possibly outbursts. So ones that might cause you to say, oh, this is really out of character for someone. The Strength card here is showing us maybe that taming of that self-destructive nature. Maybe this is the start of the understanding of what is needed, especially with that reversed Page of Pumpkins, Page of Pentacles, coming up. That idea of being on the precipice of making a change due to having stepped back and appraised the reality that they're living in. So maybe they are going to take a step back and assess and figure out that they actually do deserve better for themselves. And they're tired of missing out on opportunities to be happy or fulfilled that they're currently missing. The Knight of Cups connects the cards around them. So the ones that they touch. So this Knight of Cups is it's connecting the Page of Pumpkins, the Three of Bats, and the Devil reversed. So with the Three of Swords or Bats, it's showing us that old lingering pain. The Page is showing us that the person is going to see it for what it is. And then we come down to the Devil reversed. We've got that casting off of the attachments that aren't serving us. So there's definitely, so far, in having made this spread up completely, and it's not a real question, it's not a real querent, making it up, absolutely, that this is probably about a relationship of some kind, definitely an unhealthy attachment. So we come to level 3. This is coming up out, what's coming after this level. So we go further down and we see some wonderful stuff. We see the Two of Ghosts, the Two of Cups, we see the Ace of Pumpkins, Ace of Pentacles, and we see the Devil reversed. So now we are seeing that, now that we've recognized the issues are, we see the reality now for what it is. It's not helping us. Now we can form some healthy attachments, and maybe there's a gift or something that someone does somebody owe them something that's coming through now? This card usually comes up, and I'm talking about the Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Pumpkins, showing you that something is coming. It's kind of like accounts receivable, almost like you're owed something and you know it, but it's actually going to come through now. So maybe you've been waiting on get a payment of some kind. So for Aquarian, it's kind of showing us that maybe if they relied on someone for material reasons, for stability, maybe they had to live with a certain person in order, to continue surviving, but at the cost of something else, at the cost of their happiness and mental health and possibly even physical health. Now that we see that there's money coming in, that might be what enables them to become independent. So that could be great. And then we've got the Devil reversed. We've got that process of self-liberation. So level 3 looks really great. Coming down to level 4, this is how to get to level 3. It's a little bit confusing, but like kind of what to do now. So how does a person go from up here, get to this part, this very promising, really hopeful kind of idea of how life can be? So how do we get there? King of Imps reverse, so King of Wands reverse. Then we've got Queen of Pumpkins, Queen of Pentacles. So these two together, we have to create a new set of routines and habits. Are they considering using a creative skill that they have or a hobby that, something they're really good at to start a business maybe? King of Wands reverse usually comes up, if it's not about a person, if it's not about an event, it can often mean a person who wants to start their own business. So again, because I have absolutely no context, I'm just going to run with this meaning because I think it might actually apply. A lot of times we feel like when we're unhappy, it's hard for us to start things. Maybe we don't feel like we deserve happiness. Maybe there are obstacles in our way that we have to remove before we can move to that point of being open and ready for something new. Perhaps that's the case here. So that looks great. Possibly starting a business, something related to a skill they already have. And then level 5, so this is like the focus of the outcome. This would be kind of the advice. So if we think about the Knight of Imps, the Knight of Wands, they're very dynamic. They have that performer energy about them. Like they're charismatic. They're just owning it. And yeah, maybe they can seem a little bit impulsive. But generally their charm saves them. So this could very well be a case of one of those fake it till you make it type things, where you just have to try, just put yourself out there, do your best, put your best face out there, ask for help when it's offered, and call in as much as you can to get it off the ground, whatever it is that you've been thinking about. So the Knight knows that the Knight is willful and brave. It may be helpful to emulate or match that energy. Yeah, so this is a quick rundown of what the 15 card witches spread looks like. If you've ever used it, how have you found it to be the most helpful? Are there particular questions or queries that you would choose this spread for versus another one? Because so far, I would probably personally do just a 22 card spread if I don't have a question. Like if a person comes to you just for fun or wants you to just read their life as it is, yeah, I'd probably go to that one. I'm not sure, what we would use this one for. So I'd be really curious to see if you have any thoughts about that.